So my name is Nicholson, and I work at a small biotech company called Enara Bio, based in Oxford. The company is researching cancer immunotherapy, and my role is part of the wider operations team. I head up a group called Business and Portfolio Optimisation, and essentially our purpose is to try and make life on the operational side as easy as possible for the lab scientists. One of the things we're doing is looking, as a drug discovery company, looking forward to what will we come up against in the future in terms of regulation, and so how can we actually just bake in things that are needed in the future but actually just make them part of our way of running the business now and benefiting from that now. That's a more GXP broadening, to think about manufacturing, but also things like good documentation practices and things. I think that those are the sorts of things we're looking towards. We often refer actually here to small Q quality, which is just how we should be working, as opposed to big Q quality where there's an external requirement. And if we can just make them, without overburdening the team, make them sort of one and the same, then great. There were challenges around doc control and also around training and our sort of ability to understand who trained on what that we were experiencing. The fact that a number of us had come from bigger companies where between us we really knew what we did not want from a QMS as well. So I think that was a big benefit. So lots of systems supposedly talking to each other, not actually quite talking to each other, or things that have evolved over time and bits have been bolted on, and that's not what we wanted. So I think we were very crisp around, we had a list of what are our requirements, but specifically what would we not look for. And for us it was a simple approach. I think is one of the things we were really looking for. As I said, there's lots of systems out there that at vast expense you can have all sorts of bells and whistles that either you'll never use, or to demonstrate value you'll feel compelled to use, thus overcomplicating your process of how to use the system. So that was also for us quite key. We had some demonstrations, asked some particular questions. We had a number of people on our side who were part of that process, and we all had we have a sort of scoring system where we all rated from our own perspectives which systems we liked and which we didn't. And then over time just whittled it down and came out with Qualio as the one we wanted to go for. The implementation was great. We were handed over from your sales team to a lady called Krista, who helped us understand what it was we wanted to transfer into the system that we had already, versus what do we want to set up ready for when we had content that we wanted to move over. But she was tremendously helpful and very patient, I would say. So we now document all of our training in the system, and so everyone is using it to some extent. As we get more content in there, we've used the functionality of the training plan functionality to build role-specific training plans. So we have these, each role has a curriculum built around it. So as documentation is being completed in the system, it's actually then being automated in terms of training assignment. Now people come and ask the team if they can add their certificates of training to the system. So I think people's engagement with it is great. I think I checked this morning and we were at like 92% training compliance, which I have absolutely no idea what our training compliance was before, because you couldn't tell whether someone had done the training and just not ticked it or hadn't done it. If it was anywhere close to 92%, I'd be very surprised. People seem very comfortable with using it. I've received no feedback that people don't like using it. I haven't received no feedback that we shouldn't be using it. I think everyone sees the benefit of doing it. The areas I'm comfortable now that we're able to do are very easy to demonstrate who's trained on what, and also be able to understand what versions of a document or a procedure were being followed and when, and also locate those versions. So I would say where we are right now, if actually we did get feedback from an audit, I don't know that it would be about how we managed that content, which is good. That's what I'm looking to achieve. We're not getting feedback around how we document training, how we manage versions and approvals of documents. I would feel comfortable. In terms of the company, I think getting ourselves comfortable with that helps us for when we are required to demonstrate externally that we have a compliance system and that people have been following the procedures that we're supposed to be following, that we have the procedures we're supposed to have. I think not worrying about whether the version that's in Qualio is the version people are following will be a tremendous comfort, I think. My favourite thing about this is I think it's its simplicity. I don't worry that I'm supposed to have done something that I don't, that concern you don't know what you don't know, because sometimes there's so much complexity with some of these systems. So yeah, I think it's simplicity is, for me, the thing that I find reassuring about the system, actually, that we can manage our content. We're not having to cut corners in terms of how we manage the content, but we can manage it perfectly well within the system.